Well, to start with, the first singer we actually had that was part of the band was actually Björn. Eric, who sang on the first two albums, was asked to join the band, but never wanted to join the band. He toured with us, he made the first two albums with us, but he was never part of the band. He wanted to tour with us, he wanted to do the albums with us, but he didn't want to be in a band. And then we had Gustav, who was part of the band, but he never recorded with us. He only toured with us, and he was never part of the band in the real way. And then Björn came in 2015, and he was part of the band. We don't want to wait to find the right people. If we know that is the right person, but we can only use him like this, then we'll use him like this, and then we'll continue with the story, and then wait for the right people to show up.
So I think that my voice is really well catered to very melodic styles of music. So in terms of power metal, I really like singing higher range melodic stuff. So generally, if I had it my way, and if I was running this band, then
Well, you're not.
I'm not, damn it. Then going back to, I would say that my vocal style would probably take it more into a classic style of Seven Thorns, for example. Yeah, sure. Okay.
You can tell this already falling into the role of a lead singer. Like, if this was my band, I
No,
would.
what? I think there needs to be some leadership change around here.
We actually from the start said Denmark is between Finland, Sweden, and Germany, so we'll mix the sound to become something that takes elements from all these bands. So that's why we ended up with this. But you have this funny story about actually you joined the band now, but when you learned about Seven Thorns, I will ask the questions for you now.
Okay. When I learned about Seven Thorns?
Yes, the first time you ever listened to Seven Thorns was your brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now,
Are you also telling a story?
Yeah, he showed me Liberty back in like something, I don't know, 2012 maybe, 2012, maybe earlier than that. And I didn't like it. Like, this isn't melodic enough for me, so I just moved on. And then years later, well,
here you are.
yeah, I tend to like the music now, actually. It's not weird.
I actually had the exact opposite reaction the first time I encountered Seven Thorns, because I was drunk.
You loved it.
I didn't know what it was. I thought it was called Seven Horns. So I was drunk talking to a guy at a party in somewhere in Valby. It's like I'm starting to get into power metal. It's kind of cool. Let me show you this stuff. And then he played some Seven Thorns song. I was like, that's fucking amazing. I didn't even know we had this in Denmark. What are they called? And
Drunkenly.
Seven Horns. And I went back home and I looked for Seven Horns. I couldn't find shit. I was like, I'll never figure out who this is. I think that's mainly for you because you've been dealing with a lot of the guest musicians.
Yep. Well, to start with, you can say that Eric was a guest musician, guest vocalist for some years, and Gustav as well. But guest musicians, I think we're up to having when the band split almost 2 years ago. And we stood, Mads and I were standing there, Björn was still singing a little bit with us, no guitar player, no keyboard player, festival booked, a European tour booked, and absolutely no way of convincing these people to fulfill the contracts they agreed on. So what to do? So firstly, we asked around. We need a guitar player. So contacting all sorts of people, asking, do you know someone? Do you know someone? So, and then we got in contact with Alexander from Mads. Etra, yes. Fantastic guy, really good guitar player, and he learned the set for live that we were headlining a German festival. So he learned the whole set in 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Well done.
He's a good guitar player and really nice guy. And then we asked Christopher because we know we've met a lot of the guys from Lastera, and in the old days from Downfall.
Yeah.
So we talked to Christopher, and he was game. So Christopher joined us on the European tour, and got his European virginity taken.
Just for the record, it's the tour virginity. The actual one we don't know anything about.
So we are so lucky. We have so many good friends to help us out, and when we ask, and when I tell you, and when the new album comes, you will see how many good friends we do have in the band.
Well, but it was actually kind of a weird process, because at some point, I was living in the Netherlands at the time, hadn't been home for years. And at some point, like out of the blue, I get a message from first Mads and then Lars. And I haven't spoken to these guys like probably ever, really. We met us at a show or something and sort of stayed in touch because we met musicians in Denmark do that. They're like, hey, long time no see. How you doing? Good. What's up? Yeah, we're kind of looking for a guitar player. It's because we were typing at the time. We're kind of looking for a guitar player. Would you be interested in coming on? And like,
So he can only.
yeah, I can only type. I am
He's that type.
vocationally damaged. It's like, yes, that's an excellent idea. I'd love to join your band. I'm in the wrong fucking country. I always point both of these guys. Yeah, that's logistics. We'll work around that. Sure.
I had a Swedish singer from Gothenburg. How difficult can it be to have a guitar player in Holland?
Yeah, so it was a lot of like sitting by myself, learning the set and laying down the solos that I could actually find time to compose, and then sort of flying in.
No, you skipped the fun part where we actually met up in Holland.
Oh yeah,
on
we
the
did.
European tour.
Because they came by on the European tour with Christopher as a guitar player. So I went to see Seven Thorns before joining Seven Thorns. It was an excellent show. I remember about half of it because like right on the border of Belgium, you have really good beer and it's really cheap and it's really strong.
Belgium Christmas beer for the win.
Oh, Triple Camaraderie is an excellent beer. That and Delirium and yeah. Like I had a great time.
Yes, and you proved yourself worthy, at least to be a groupie.
At the very least.
At the very least.
Bottom rung of the band.
So, like about 2 weeks went by and I could sit down, properly again. And then I just started flying in. So we would have a gig and I would fly in. We'd rehearse for 2 weeks and then we'd go perform. And then I would fly back to the Netherlands. We did that for like a year, I think.
Well, the idea was born in '98. Finding people was a help. So I think we were in 2003 before we had some sort of a functioning lineup, and 2004 when after a lot of changes in the band, we had a really functioning lineup. So we actually started preparing for the studio and we recorded the first demo, Artificial Night, and Metal Will Show You the Way. Something happened, and that was fun, and for a while. And we started working on an album. We recorded an album, and then a lot of shit happened, and then we were back to square one. But luckily, it didn't take that long time to find the right people. It was only Mig and I at that point, and we found Gabriel, and Gabriel brought in Christian and Asger, and we started working on the new album, on the first real Seven Thorns album.
So I actually remember not too long ago, I found some old videos of me performing in like one of my first bands, and you can tell that I am very much an excitable kid out there with his first guitar being, I'm the greatest rock star in the world, and I very clearly am not. No, but anyway, like I can tell that things feel different. It's a lot more collected. It's not as frenetic as frantic, and especially when I played with Seven Thorns. But like you can tell that it feels different. There's sort of a very different vibe to it. It's like you go to work but you have fun, whereas it's not just how many beers can I pound in a night because they're free.
My vast experience touring it's been extensive, I think, but I don't think anything could have prepared me for the real amateur show that Seven Thorns can be. It's the real amateur hour, I feel, over here. But no, I think I've never done anything before. Nothing.
So this is your first band?
Mm-hmm. No, well, technically no. No, I'm in like 2 other bands. It's just at
This week.
this is for now. Right now I'm in 2 bands, which is Seven Thorns and then my other band, Questbound. But I was in another one before as well, and I've only been on the music scene even a little bit for the past maybe 1.5 or 2 years, I think, at this point. So, I just started uploading covers on YouTube and stuff, and then gradually started, talking to people online, and I've been in those bands, but I never played live. So this is pretty much my first live experience. I mean, I've had talent shows and stuff in high school and all that, but it's not like this. I didn't have to be a performer. I just had to stand up there and sing. But so this is different in that way, but it's significantly more fun. No, I think I was more nervous for rehearsal. Wednesday for our small. I'm set. I'm happy about that. Even the festival in Germany, I couldn't care less. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Most experienced.
Well, actually, Mads is almost as experienced as I am, since we started our live experience together in 1995 in a completely different band.
Oh, that's the year before I started school.
I'm like, Let me pull out my sundial.
That was the year before Mads and I started in school as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell the time by sundial.
Yes.
Well,
So no, but a lot of things have happened during. We've tried, I guess, everything on the spectrum so far, from what the fuck are we doing here and what is happening here to, wow, this is the greatest thing and we have to do this again. I think playing more and more shows, and seeing how also actually starting to take a look at the videos that were shot during shows and looking at them and say, how can we do this better? And when Björn came in the band in 2015, he came in and said, this is things that we need to do, need to focus on and everything. So, and we just said, oh, fuck, we're just having fun on stage. So, but then when Björn came, it was much more strict, like you should think about when you go out here, you can see the remainings of the stripes on the scene, the tape that's on the stage here, that was there. Björn put it on the floor, said divided the stage into zones and say, this zone you need to be 75% of the time. You can go down to this zone, but then you have to do like this and perform like this. So, and we have that advantage that we have this.
It's a good visual representation.
Yeah,
it's cool. When I joined, they ran me through that whole thing, like before we went out on stage anywhere. You can tell that in general the level here is higher. Like the vibe is very low key and chill, and there's time to fix stuff. But the level of what's expected is also higher than what I'm used to, which is awesome. It's nice.
I'm not sure how other bands do it today when they rehearse. So we do it what we think is the best way. But we will listen if people come and tell us otherwise. One of the moments I cherish most is that when we played festival in Sri Lanka, an outdoor festival, and just sitting there and when we were supposed to go on stage, well, when we went on stage, it was just, the darkness was just coming in, and then suddenly from the trees around this outdoor arena, all the flying dogs left the trees, and there were hundreds of them just flying off.
Whoa.
It was like, wow. And then it was tropical, and it was so fucking hot and humid. I needed people to help me get off the stage, and it was like 1, 2, and I was soaking wet. That was fun, definitely. But there's been so many other fantastic moments. Otherwise, we wouldn't still have been here.
The most memorable live experience I ever had. It's actually, so I think it's about 4 years ago. I haven't actually told anyone this, but I think I'm outside of the NDA now. So while I was in the Netherlands, I was rehearsing and I was practicing, I was playing with people because that's what you do. Like COVID hit during the time, there was a lot of sort of breakup in some of the bands down there. And I was contacted by a band that I agreed not to name because they had a guitar player that was out with COVID. So he couldn't make a show. But they still wanted him on stage because he had to be there for sort of the whole thing to work. But the guy was so out of it and he couldn't play. So I was loaded up into a backstage area slightly south of the Dutch-Belgian border. Like rehearsed a couple of times with these guys, and then had to play. And it was a simple set, like power chords and sort of nice melodies and everything. But I had to play from the back of the stage to like monitoring and the click track, so that the guy could be out there actually hammering away his chords and looking the part.
Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of wild. That was kind of wild.
I don't know. I don't really have any memorable live experiences because I haven't had very many. So I guess the most recent one would be yesterday when we all kicked ass at rehearsal for an hour.
I can do that quite quickly on my behalf. Everyone I've met has been awesome. Very few people have I met more than once. They're all great.
I think the experience of having played somewhere in Europe and coming back in the area, and we say, hey, we know that person, we've seen in the front row we've seen before. Awesome. And people come up and talk to us. I guess that's everyone experiences that, but it's really nice. It's really nice seeing that when we come back to the same areas, that the same people are coming back. We have a fan club. Fantastic. Some people actually want to know more about us. So far.
Just want to listen to you.
And we have a fan club president from Sweden. She tattooed the band logo on her arm, and it was like that was sort of, wow.
Why'd you do that?
It's like, okay, someone is taking us seriously. we better do something. We better
do the same.
Yeah.
We might want to take ourselves through.
Nice one.
So and it's nice to see we get comments from all over the world. That's a schedule. So we're finished playing. We need to do a changeover quickly, so everyone knows what they have to do, which means that when person A is finished with this, then directly out to merchandise.
Okay.
And start talking and hanging out with people, and then we just drop in one at a time. I remember we played on the Freedom Call European tour. We played in Czech Republic a couple of shows, and one of the shows in Slin, in the Metal Masters of Rock Cafe. I think 900 people, and we were taking photos with fans for 1.5 hours after the show. So it's amazing. I love being out with the fans and just of people who came to hear us and want to talk to us. It's amazing. It's awesome.
If I may add something to that one, because what you say is true. There's nothing wrong about this, but that's the part of. Yes, some of us really like to talk to fans, to hang out with people. They tend to be fans when they come to talk to us. But so it's like a party where everybody wants to talk to you and not the weird guy, necessarily. So some of us enjoy it immensely.
That's a quick answer. Cooperation, non-existing, helping us, not at all.
So you're out of Mighty Music now?
Yes. We have a few we're talking to.
TBA.
Yeah, TBA. Yeah. But we have a few. We're actually in contact with someone who wanted to release Symphony of Shadows as well before we signed. They came after we signed with Mighty Music. But yeah. But we're looking for an international label who wants to support us, who has an idea to what they want to use us for. Otherwise, we can just as well release it ourselves on CD Baby or whatever.
It's going to be louder and more like high pitched than the last version of Seven Thorns.
It's going to sound like a mosquito flying around the microphone.
Yeah, I'm working really
I wanna
hard
see
on
that.
like the most tinny guitar tone I can realize is like, yeah, like that. That's what we're going for. Symphonic mosquitoes.
What Mads and I have experienced now is that with the addition of Magnus and Noah, there's we've got some people in the band now who are enthusiastic and wants to drive this. The addition of these two guys here, it's like, wow, we are living up again. We're actually working. We're producing new stuff also, and as soon as we get the last things ready for the new album, we start directly on the next album again. Well, I think we're doing it more or less like everyone else is doing it today. So, which means that Noah is recording at home, Magnus is recording at home, Matt has been recording down here with the assistance of Emil from Lastera, that's his drum kit over there. Um, and as the only one in the band, I'm going to a real studio, and I've been with Madsen to record the drums again for this upcoming album, and I will most likely go back there again for the next album because working with is fantastic. What do we want to leave behind? All the way. Please clear the area
Hours and
after us.
hours of excellent music. Some sore neck muscles. Maybe, you know, 1 or 2 occurrences of tinnitus and like truckloads of happiness. Is that right?
Somebody once wrote something about us after a show saying that we took ourselves too serious. I'm glad you're laughing at that. Let's see. I think we love playing music, and if people like it, fantastic. That's amazing, and I'm honored that people come to our show and listens to our music, because I'm just having fun playing music.
I feel the same. I will always probably be into performing, recording power metal. There's nothing I'd rather do with the entirety of my life. Now, somewhat proggy, with some darker power metal themes. In the future,
No comments.
No comment. No comment. It's very good.
You plead the fifth.
I do. I do. I do plead the fifth.
I think we'll all try to influence each other, and
Yes.
for Matt and me at least, we're very open to see where is this gonna take us, because it's a new setup, new lineup, with new ideas. So we don't want to say, but we can only do it this way, the way we've always done it.
That is
because that's not how I see the band from Return to the Past and to Symphony of Shadows and to the new album. There's been an evolution in the music.
That is something that me and him have talked about. You know, since more likely, you know, we'll probably start doing writing relatively soon on, like we talked about, the new album. I think we definitely want to go lighter, a little bit more complex rhythm wise.
Yeah, I think like, what we discussed is you want to go sort of a more melodic direction, and I like riffs.
Yeah, we're just gonna try and do it all, and then see how it goes. But
Wow.
Yeah, but it's like when I try to write riffs for Seven Thorns, they also have to like, sound like something. This is a band, like you said at one point, this is a band with a legacy. Like this is not just, you know, people have been at it for 6 months to figure out who we are. Like there are actual, you know, there are fans, there are records, there's 20 years of story to take into account.
there is a style.
Yeah, that's a style. But the point being, everything has to sort of go through, and these guys are the ones that know how Seven Thorns sound. Right now, it's mostly been about finishing the new album.
Stuff that's
Yeah.
been written for a while that we wanted to finally get done.
But who wrote it?
Gabriel?
I think next album was mainly the old constellation of the band.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Well, I think we'll see how that shapes up in practice once we actually get deep into the process of writing the next
Yes.
album.
Yeah, I agree.
Nice.
So the new album that has not yet received a title is a little bit where Symphony of Shadows is set in a time with vampires and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love that album.
The new album will take us a little bit more into the future and a lot away from Earth, actually somewhere out in space. I don't think we have had thought about AI in any way.
I mean, it's just not good enough.
I think what we are turned on is working with people. Well, for me at least, I think working with other people, getting their ideas on how to address album. When we play something for you from the new album, you will hear.
There's two things I would like for like the near future. On the album to come out, because it's awesome, and it's a pain to be sitting on it and not being able to share it with people. I want that out. And I want to take all these guys, I want to stick them into a bus, and I want to drive somewhere far, far, far away and play for people that I have never met in a city I've never been to.
What I want is to travel everywhere and play for as many people as humanly possible that can fit in one room.
We still have this milestone saying Japan.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Kyoto would be a good place.
And we were there, and then Corona hit.
Ouch.
So we weren't there anyway. Yes, I think getting the band up and releasing albums, because what we can see and what we hear from outside, from the rest of the world and our booking agency, is that the interest for Seven Thorns is actually rising, and everyone is waiting for the new album to come out. Well, I have already told you that we are on this new album here. We are working with a lot of guest musicians, so from a completely different genre, country music.
Considering somebody's a huge fan of some bands playing country, and some of them want to join a power metal band for a solo, someone, yeah, that's basically it.
Any musician at all, ever. I think what I would most like to spend time with is an actual composer. Actually knows how to write properly for orchestras, and I would just sit there and I would suck things into my brain. That would probably be my biggest goal. Jagged sax.
Oh,
Rat God.
Mads, what do you think?
I think we should go into some doom metal, because things are moving really, really slow once in a while in this band.
If you imagine the sound of a guitar being dropped on stage, where everything is turned up, and you transcribe that, that's the sound I'll use for the name.
That or the title is No Good Story Ever Started With I Had a Glass of Milk.
Good soundtrack, probably a children's
I think
song, probably.
I think it would be something like, at least we had fun some of the time. Well, polka doom.
Maybe.
I think it actually should be the genre of the Star Wars Cantina Band.